Hi guys, as you can see, this won't be a regular guitar building video. While you were watching the videos of me working on the neck for the Celtic Sonia guitar build, I've been enjoying my 3-week vacation here on a campsite in the Netherlands. And unfortunately I miscalculated the number of episodes I needed to spend my entire vacation. So I thought it would be nice, while most of you aren't from the Netherlands, to show you around and show you the things we did during our vacation. So one of the things we visited is this medieval castle. It's called the MUIDERSLOT. It's the eldest or the oldest castle in the Netherlands. It's built in 1285. And it's been a museum since 1878. It's a full castle. Yeah, of course it has some exhibits on castle life, medieval weaponry found in and around the castle, and some replicas are on display still. Besides the medieval expositions, most of the interior is intact and it dates from the 17th century. In 1610 to 1647 this castle was lived in by a Dutch poet called P.C. Hoofd, and yeah, you can see in the interior it has a lot of Dutch and Belgian masterpieces, and yeah, like I said, all the interior is like it was in the mid 17th century. The entire castle is almost fully furnished, and it gives a good look in how it would be like to live in a medieval castle. I can highly recommend visiting this castle when you're in the Netherlands. And from the castle walls you get a nice view of a typical Dutch landscape. So besides visiting museums and castles, we also like to hike a lot during our vacation. So here we're exploring some forests around our campsite. When hiking in the Netherlands, you have a high chance of coming across these sand drifts. They look like dunes, but they're nowhere near the sea. These sand dunes are the result of intense deforestation and grazing from cattle during the medieval times, and the soil got so poor nothing would grow there anymore. And as you can see, slowly over time nature is reclaiming these sand dunes, and apparently they're unique to the Netherlands. Besides hiking and cycling, another great way to explore the Netherlands is of course by boat. The Netherlands, of course, being a country ruled and run by water, it has many canals, lakes and rivers, you name it. And yeah, if you like to go sailing or to rent a boat, it's a great way to see the Netherlands from a different perspective. There are many places in the Netherlands where you can rent a boat for a day or a couple of hours, and whenever I have the opportunity I take it and go boating for a day. And of course, what would the Netherlands be without the iconic windmill? The Netherlands still has over 1,000 historic windmills, and a lot of them are still operational, and I think this one is used to pump water. Yeah, I really enjoy being out on the water, and I wish I had the time to do it more often. And when it's time to relax in front of my tent, I like to read some fantasy novels. We've also visited the Dutch National Military Museum. And although I'm not that big of a military guy, I really like this museum a lot. They show the history of the Dutch military and of course of the Netherlands itself. This museum was opened in 2014, and being so new, they use amazing display techniques ranging from full-size dioramas to this amazing graphic display projected in a dome. This presentation shows the history of the Dutch military and how it's evolved and what the current role of the military is here in the Netherlands. And because it's projected in a dome, it really gives a very 3D, very immersive experience, and I've never seen anything like it before.
De artillerie neemt onder Napoleon een belangrijke plaats in. Met een bereik van 1 kilometer kunnen Franse kanonnen vijandige formaties uiteenslaan voordat de overige troepen zich in de strijd mengen. Na het uitdelen van de eerste klap wordt de infanterie in stelling gebracht. De soldaten opereren in rijen achter elkaar, in linieformatie, waarin de voorste rij vuurt en de rij daarachter de musketten laat. Zo bereiken ze de grootste vuurkracht. De cavalerie kan met grote snelheid over het slagveld bewegen om in de zwakke plekken van de vijandelijke linies te duiken. De belaagde infanterie probeert zich dan razendsnel in carréformatie op te stellen om zichzelf te beschermen. Het revolutionaire Frankrijk voert een algemene dienstplicht in. Dit leidt tot een geweldige schaalvergroting die grote gevolgen heeft voor de structuur van de krijgsmacht. Legers trekken ten strijde in massale veldslagen. Oorlogen worden steeds vaker gewonnen of verloren in één beslissende slag.
Besides the exhibition on the Dutch military, the museum also has a huge collection of military vehicles, all the way from the medieval times to the modern age, ranging from tanks to aeroplanes. The museum is so big, they actually have actual fighter jets strung up from the ceiling for you to take a look at. The collection is really massive. A couple of days per year, the museum also gives demonstrations with their tracked vehicles, and we were lucky enough to visit at one of those days. The museum has dedicated vehicles for these demonstrations, and they're maintained and driven by volunteers. So they're not owned by the military, they're owned by the museum, and yeah, they're completely run by volunteers. The museum is located on the former Soesterberg Air Force Base, which was a shared base with the US Air Force, and a lot of you guys are from the US, so if you're into military history, I really recommend to check it out. There's also a lot of US stuff shown in the museum. And of course we also like to visit the occasional city or town to do some shopping and some sightseeing. In this case the city of Amersfoort, which still has a very historic town center. The city center is still partially surrounded by the old walls with the various gates to the city. And like most Dutch cities with a historic city center, the modern architecture is right next door. And always take some time to enjoy a cup of coffee at one of the many cafes in the city center. I hope you liked this episode, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and let me know in the comment section down below what you think about these kinds of videos here on the Unquendor Guitars channel. I don't intend to make regular vlog style videos, but yeah, I thought it would be nice to show you a bit more about my personal life. So yeah, next week of course we'll be back to regular schedule, back in the workshop working on the Celtic Sonia guitar, and I'll start making the body. So I hope you join me all there, but until then, have a nice week.